Have you ever wondered how your entire life could change if you simply decided to stop waiting? What if I told you that the transformation you keep postponing doesn't actually require a lifetime? What if it's not as far away as you think? Most people, trapped by outdated beliefs, assume transformation takes years, decades even. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of immediate action. The truth is, radical change doesn't require a lifetime of sacrifice. It demands just 6 months. Yes, 6 focused, disciplined, ruthless months where you stop playing small, stop negotiating with comfort, and start showing up for yourself like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. And let's be brutally honest for a moment. How much time have you already wasted dancing with half-hearted efforts? Starting and stopping, scrolling endlessly, waiting for motivation to descend like some divine spark. But what has that waiting given you? While you're hesitating, replaying old excuses in your head like a broken record, someone else out there is rewriting their narrative, starting with less time, fewer resources, and more fire than you're allowing yourself to tap into. Marcus Aurelius once issued a challenge that echoes across the centuries. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This isn't about chasing some perfect version of yourself. It's about choosing precision over procrastination. It's about realizing that small, intentional actions, done with fierce intensity, will reshape your world far faster than passive waiting for the perfect moment. Because guess what? There is no perfect moment. There never will be. You create the moment by becoming the kind of person who moves forward, even when the odds, the fears, the doubts, and the voices in your head beg you to pause. And if what we're talking about here shakes something loose inside you, if it lights a flicker of recognition deep in your gut, don't just sit there. Show yourself you mean it. Subscribe, commit, step into this moment fully. We're not here to toss you feel-good phrases that fade after a few minutes. We're here to help you reclaim your life, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. This isn't just another video. This is a decision point. Let's make the next 6 months count like never before. You see, here's the truth most people never hear. 6 months of focused, aligned effort will outperform 6 years of scattered attempts every time. Bhutan, this is crucial. It requires something rare. Full alignment. Not just doing the right things when it feels good, but becoming the type of person who does them, regardless of mood, weather, or applause. Everything must align. Your habits, your thoughts, your environment, your discipline, they all need to march in the same direction, like a well-drilled army responding to a single, unwavering command. And that command must come from within. Not from external motivation, not from fleeting inspiration, from a decision so clear, so rooted, that even the loudest noise of hesitation can't drown it out. But why don't most people reach that level of clarity? Because they're fractured, divided inside. One part of them hungers for greatness, while another part clings to comfort, distraction, and safety. One voice inside whispers of potential, while another drags them back to old patterns, familiar routines, and fears dressed up as logic. And in that exhausting tug-of-war, energy leaks. You scroll when you should be studying. You reach for junk food when you promised yourself discipline. You rationalize when you should move. You delay when the only answer should be now. And slowly, moment by moment, your identity, who you really are, gets shaped not by who you aspire to become, but by who you keep choosing to be in moments of weakness. Carl Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's the battlefield you're on. The enemy isn't out there, it's the blind spots you refuse to confront, the patterns you never question, the inner voices you mistake for truth, the quiet pain you've made peace with simply because it's familiar. This 6-month revolution is not just about doing more. It's about facing the unconscious forces that quietly dictate your life. Your procrastination? It's not random. Your self-sabotage? It's not a fluke. These are old habits of thought, programmed years ago, still running your show in the background. So, how do you break them? Not gently, not someday, not when you feel ready. You break them now with fire, with honesty that burns, with radical self-awareness that refuses to flinch. You have to look directly at your defaults, at your excuses, at the mental exits you always take, at the comforts you lean on like a crutch, and you must strip them bare, tear away the cozy lies that keep them safe. Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." But the examined life? That's where the real war begins. Because once you see what's been holding you back, you can't unsee it. And from that point on, there's only one question left. What will you do now? And that brings us to the mirror. Ask yourself, honestly, ruthlessly, what have your last 6 months really looked like? Not through the haze of excuses, not through the comfort of self-forgiveness, but through the raw, unfiltered lens of truth. Did you spend more time escaping your problems than solving them? Did Netflix get more of your hours than your goals? Did you dress up avoidance and call it just being realistic? Be brutally honest. How often did you lower your standards the second discomfort knocked on your door and whispered, "Let's take it easy today"? And if that version of you has been behind the wheel, how much longer are you going to let them drive? How many more irreplaceable days will you trade for fleeting comfort, knowing they never come back? That's your challenge. Not to invent some new identity. Not to chase an image you saw on social media. But to return to yourself. To the you that existed before the world told you to play small. Before you learned to shrink your hunger for life. That version of you didn't wait for permission. It didn't negotiate with fear. It moved, it created, it acted, and it's still inside you, buried under hesitation but not gone. Carl Jung believed that wholeness isn't achieved by cutting off parts of ourselves, but by integrating them. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you were before fear rewrote your script. But here's the catch. You don't get to remember without responsibility. You don't reclaim your power while blaming your past. So take ownership. Not the performative kind, not the social media kind where you post a caption and then change nothing. I mean the gut-wrenching kind. The kind that makes your stomach drop. The kind that leaves no one else to blame if you're still stuck. Because if you're not where you want to be, it's not the algorithm's fault. It's not your toxic boss. It's not your broken schedule. It's your decisions, your rituals, the comfort you keep choosing over growth. The truth is painful, but unlike denial, it's clean. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. You don't need more time. You need more intensity. The kind of commitment that makes distractions feel offensive. The kind of clarity that makes the old you feel like a stranger. When you build a life rooted in purpose, things that once felt irresistible begin to lose their power. You no longer entertain anything that doesn't fit the identity you're building. Not because you're forcing discipline, but because misalignment feels wrong. In the previous section, we uncovered a sobering truth: life doesn't pause, It doesn't wait for our feelings to catch up. It moves forward, with or without our readiness. Now, let's go deeper into what it really takes to keep up, to move boldly while others stall. Most people start their day by checking in with their emotions. They roll out of bed and immediately hand over control to their feelings, asking themselves, "How do I feel today? Am I motivated enough to face what's ahead?" But here's the harsh reality. Life is indifferent to how you feel. The world spins on, relentlessly, unapologetically. It doesn't pause for you to feel ready or inspired. Opportunities appear and disappear in the blink of an eye, and if you hesitate, they vanish. Aristotle captured this perfectly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Your real power isn't found in waiting for the perfect conditions to magically appear. It reveals itself when you act precisely at those times when everything feels uncomfortable, when fear whispers for you to stop. It's when you choose discipline over fleeting comfort that something extraordinary begins to unfold inside you. This choice triggers a subtle yet profound shift. Your emotions stop steering the ship, and instead, they begin to follow the course set by your actions. This reversal rewires your identity. You stop being someone who reacts passively to life and become someone who acts intentionally, moves decisively, shows up consistently. With every deliberate action, you begin to forge a new self-image built on momentum. And momentum, once ignited, becomes the silent engine that carries you forward, turning even the smallest daily wins into sweeping, life-altering transformations. But let's not be naive. Momentum is delicate. It's always under siege. Life is designed to distract you. Notifications, trivial conversations, endless scrolling, they're like leaks in your ship, slowly draining your energy and focus. Momentum doesn't maintain itself. You have to defend it. Vigorously, relentlessly. You have to guard your time as if your very life depends on it, because in truth it does. Reflect on this. How often do you treat your time and attention, the most precious currencies you own, as disposable? How many innocent-looking interruptions slowly eat away at the foundation of your greatest dreams? It's not that most people are lazy. Far from it. They're simply experts at quietly losing track of their days, allowing them to slip away, minute by minute, into activities that yield no meaningful return. Carl Jung once warned us with piercing clarity. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Every aimless minute is a quiet surrender of the life you truly desire. And this is not about glorifying endless hustle or pushing yourself to the brink of burnout. It's about reclaiming sovereignty over your existence. It's about taking back the hours, the minutes, the very fragments of your day that define who you become. Ask yourself sincerely, who owns your day? Is it you? Or is it every passing whim, every random notification, every fleeting thought demanding your attention? If you don't actively, ruthlessly defend your focus, distractions will conquer it effortlessly. Plato put it bluntly, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." And that battle starts with structure, intentionality, designing your days with care, creating sacred windows of deep, uninterrupted work, carving out non-negotiable spaces for stillness, reflection, and focus. This is how you stop living reactively and start living with clarity, with purpose. But why settle for simply organizing your time? Why not aim higher? Why not raise your standards not someday, but now? Because here's a truth most people overlook. Your standards are the invisible ceiling of your potential. Aristotle believed that life's highest purpose was the realization of excellence. And excellence doesn't wait politely to be invited. It emerges only when demanded.
So ask yourself, brutally honest liar, your current standards truly aligned with the life you envision? Or have they become too comfortable, too low, too forgiving? While others linger in hesitation, still sketching plans and calculating risks, you're already taking action, leaving your mark on the world. Because life, as you'll come to realize, doesn't reward careful planning alone. It rewards motion. Confidence isn't born from endless analysis or rehearsed speeches in your head. It's forged in action. It's birthed when you step into the fog of uncertainty and discover again and again that you are capable, adaptable, resilient. Aristotle called courage the first of all human qualities because it unlocks every other. You don't need more preparation. You need fewer excuses, fewer moments of hesitation. Every second spent stalling is a second handed over to fear. But every second spent moving forward, even imperfectly, feeds your inner strength. Jung's words echo once more. You are what you do. Every decision, no matter how small, is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Habits, routines, micro-decisions, they compound. They either pull you closer to your ideal self or push you further away. So, ask yourself plainly, which direction did you move today? Since every action counts, why not move swiftly, decisively, and with unwavering purpose? Plato believed that human behavior flows from three wells: desire, emotion, and knowledge. When you align these forces, they become an unstoppable current, propelling you forward with obsession, not reckless frenzy, but the kind of obsession that strips away distractions and fuels clarity. When you move like this, fear no longer defines your choices. Hesitation loses its grip. Momentum becomes your ally, and it's the most unstoppable force you can harness. If you dare to commit to this level of focus, intensity, and clarity for just 6 months, you will no longer recognize the hesitant version of yourself who used to wait, stall, and doubt. You will think sharply, speak boldly, act deliberately. The fog of uncertainty will lift, replaced by radiant clarity in mind, body, and spirit. And perhaps the most profound shift will be this. When you look back, it won't be pride alone. You feel it will be deep, quiet gratitude. Not for the titles or the achievements, but for that singular, life-changing decision you made to finally act, to finally stop allowing hesitation to define you. Because this isn't an ending. It's ignition. It's the spark of everything you're about to become.